What's up guys, welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/today I fudged up, my favorite, or one of my favorite subreddits, getting its own episode.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.
This story's called, Today I Fudged Up by Adopting a Cat, which resulted in us both getting tapeworm, and me almost dying. This screw-up has been set up perfectly for disaster over the past few months, and is continuing to destroy my life. This is a long one, but every detail counts in portraying one of the worst weeks of my life. Let me preface this by saying I love my cat more than anything, and while he is currently not sleeping anywhere near me, he's still getting a lot of cautious love. I can't imagine being self-isolated alone without him right now. Truly, I love him too much. Too much love got us here today. In January, I adopted an 11-year-old, 19-pound chonker. I fell in love instantly. His last family returned him after 6 months with a bad case of fleas. He had been defleed but came home with a slew of other health issues. By the end of January, after a lot of vet visits, he seemed to be on the mend. I knew what I was signing up for when I adopted a senior cat, but just didn't realize the endless possibilities. Truly, I tell him every night before bed he's my ride or die, and that's about to be tested with this saga of the greatest love story ever told. Early February, he starts coughing and stops pooping in his litter box, despite me cleaning it daily. He's still peeing in there, but seems cautious and runs out immediately. Even when he started pooping on the floor, thank God for wood floors, he'd run under my bed from it. That was the only time he'd go under my bed, otherwise he was cuddled up on me or next to me. His medical chart from when I adopted him said he had issues with litter box pooping. They suspected he was afraid of his last family's other cat and it was behavioral. But something didn't add up. He was fine with pooping in the litter box for the first time after his kitty enema. I cleaned up his poop every other day and saw nothing out of the ordinary. He was starting to lose weight, which was good because as cute of a chonker as he is, it's not healthy, folks. I stopped free-feeding him, started feeding him scheduled wet food meals, and we had daily playtime to get him to a healthy weight. I bring him into the vet in February for the 6th time in a month and a half. He had half of his teeth removed before I adopted him. This resulted in an incision infection and an enema due to opioid constipation. This visit was for his cough though. I even asked if he could have worms. The vet tells me, I know you're trying to be a good pet owner, but he likely has allergies and it's behavioral issues. This might be something he has to live with. Come see me if his mucus turns brown. I had been right about every single Dr. Google diagnosis up until this point, but whatever. I buy an air purifier, vacuum and clean regularly, change the bedding weekly. I already have an obsessive cleaning schedule, and quarantine has only allowed that time to thrive. Ask any of my previous roommates, and I am the cleanest person you'll ever live with. Despite the cleaning, some coughing days were better than others. All of a sudden, end of last week, he starts coughing a lot less, and I start feeling like absolute crap. My best friend even makes a joke that I caught whatever my cat had. Sick foreshadowing. When I read the article about the tiger in the Bronx catching Modelo virus, I was convinced we both had it. My chest was tight, frequent bathroom runs, just pure exhaustion, losing weight rapidly despite being quarantined for a month in a tiny studio, malnourished to the point my hair is falling out. I'm a mess. I guess it's a good thing I got laid off 2 weeks ago because the bathroom and I are very close friends these days. I wake up Monday morning to the pungent smell of my cat's usual poop surprise on the wood floor. He's such a kind cat to poop where it's easy to clean up. That's when I see them. Worms crawling around everywhere. I'm gagging, take a little sample for the vet, and flush the rest. I Dr. Google the crap out of it and it is for sure tapeworms. Then I read about the eggs. Let me remind you, I change my sheets and wash my duvet cover weekly. I make my bed the second I get out of it and even vacuum my duvet cover. I run to inspect my bed. There are eggs everywhere. Little rice demons of hell that have been dropping from my poor cat's bum for 3 months. I'm dry heaving at this point. I live in an old studio apartment, and my bed is against a brick wall, so I get little grout crumble patches that I have to vacuum up pretty regularly. I remember feeling little patches of what I assumed one night was grout on my sheets, but fell asleep wine drunk and ignored it. When I tell you they were everywhere, I mean they were everywhere. My pillow, under my pillow. My cat and I fall asleep cuddling every night. Again, I love this cat too damn much. I call the vets, and it's undoubtedly tapeworm. We suspect he's had it since I adopted him. His prescription gets to me within a few hours. I also get flea medication and spray. I check him for flea dirt regularly and hadn't seen anything, but better to be cautious. I bag all of my bedding and throw out half of what I own, vacuum every inch of this place for an hour. I'm on the freaking floor with my flashlight and I find a dead tapeworm under my couch. Swiffer, disinfect my couch, flip my mattress like a total mental breakdown. I give him his medication and his cough stops instantly. He hasn't coughed once since Monday. This has been one of my childhood phobias since I read that urban legend about the guy who starved himself, then put a burger patty on his tongue and lured the tapeworm out until he could grab it from his mouth. I'm thinking about the story after giving my cats his meds when holy moly diarrhea. I look in the toilet bowl to 3 long strings floating on the sides that normally I would have flushed to sewage heaven without second thought, but they are undoubtedly tapeworms. My grown ass calls my mom and sobs while still sitting on the toilet in all of my wormy glory. I call and embarrassingly show the doctor. Doctor undoubtedly tells me I too have tapeworm and writes me a prescription. He asks me if I want just tapeworm or a full deworming. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? He's like, you'd be surprised how many parasites are living in you regularly. Just wait and see what you're about to poop out. I honestly just want to die at this point. My cat and I are prescribed the same medication, obviously just different doses and different price tags. His was $13 for 2 doses, mine $130 for 1 dose, 2 pills. That's with my last month of insurance from my previous employer. I immediately receive a text that my prescription is on back order because of Modelo. I'm trying to fall asleep that night on my couch without any blankets when, would you freaking guess it, my heat stops working. So now I'm just shivering on a small-ass couch knowing there's worms crawling inside of me and eggs everywhere. I don't sleep. I call the pharmacy when they open in tears asking when my meds are going to get there. Lucky me, they had just arrived. He asks me, did you know your prescription is like $130? I'm like, no, I've never had tapeworm, but I guess the price is irrelevant. We both nervously laugh. I also haven't had an in-person human interaction in a month because I've been self-isolating alone and laid off due to Modelo. So this is trying on so many levels. I order delivery for a big-ass meal from my favorite restaurant because, 1, I have no appetite because the thought of feeding the worms makes me want to die, and I was hoping ordering from my favorite restaurant would entice me to eat. 2, medication has to be taken with food. 3, I realize this is the last day, the calories don't matter. Might as well enjoy it. I pick up my prescription, light a candle, call my best friend. We have a little virtual funeral for my worms and try to make light of the situation. I play the song I want at my funeral. Hamburg sung by Keen. It's beautiful, but it just keeps getting worse, y'all. My best friend hesitantly tells me he was telling his physical therapist about my worm saga. She recommended buying clove oil and rubbing it on my pink starfish. I'm like, why? Apparently, worms like to bite your butt on the way out, and clove oil prevents that. I hate everything at this moment. It's like the different levels of hell. I take the pills and am reading the prescription pamphlet. It notes that you'll experience random aches and pains while the worms are dying. Let me tell you, I felt every freaking worm dying as I lay blanketless on my couch in the fetal position. All of a sudden, I'm thinking about the worms and I can't breathe. My throat is kind of itchy, and I'm thinking there are worms dying in my tonsils at this point. Or, I got Modelo at the pharmacy. I'm laying there in the fetal position, telling myself it's just a panic attack. My cat decides to go pee at 2 a.m., jumps out startled, trailing pee all over the apartment. I know the medication says limit your alcoholic beverages, but I say screw it and make a drink. I clean the pee and finally fall asleep for about 3 hours. I wake up bright and early to the smell of cat poop. Still half asleep, I searched his normal spots and couldn't find any poops. He left it in the tub for me. A new spot. Thanks, cat. Easy cleanup and no worms. I take it as a win. I flush it down the toilet, bleach the tub, and obsessively wash my hands. Let me tell ya, my hands are bleeding from the amount of times I wash them between Modelo and Wormageddon. I look at myself in the mirror while scrubbing my raw hands and holy crap, my face is swollen to the point I'm still surprised I can see out of my eyes. My tongue is flopping all over the place. I am having a severe allergic reaction to the tapeworm medication. That panic attack while falling asleep was actually an allergic reaction. I immediately video chat my doctor. He tells me to go get Benadryl immediately and writes me a steroid prescription. I get a call from their finance department on the brief walk to the pharmacy. $140 for that 5-minute virtual visit. I tried to dispute the charge. She can't do anything. I just flat out ask her, "Can I just tell you about my crappy life then for $140? We talk for 5 minutes about how much my life sucks, and she agrees. She was very nice about it, but still, $140. She basically tells me that if I had waited a month to get tapeworm and almost die from the medication, the virtual visit would have been cheaper without insurance. Freaking love it and American healthcare. I cut my losses and go back to the same pharmacy from the day before, and they ask me what's wrong. I lift up my glasses and they were like, "Oof, did you know you were allergic to this medication?" At this point, I'm like, "Why do any of you think I've had tapeworms before?" Truly, a complete mental breakdown. I buy my medication, a box of wine, and $20 worth of candy to ease the pain. So folks, here I am, unemployed and alone during a pandemic, clenching my butt like never before, still haven't pooped because I'm terrified of worm kisses on the way out, face still swollen shut, but I'm breathing fine. My cat is a new cat, so for that, I am grateful. I am 100% sure I will have PTSD from this experience. It is going to be a long time before my cat and I snuggle regularly again. But I know we'll get there and I still love him. Adopt senior pets regardless of the story because 10 out of 10 would still get worms again for him. Wormageddon 2020 will not soon be forgotten. Edit. I'll come back and give more meaningful updates, but I'm reading all of these comments over the phone, basking in the worst kind of Reddit fame with my best friend, and his smartass says, "Your tapeworm is going to come out of your butt and ask, 'Do you know who I am?'" But really, y'all are too kind. Well, thank you for sharing your wormy traumas. I had a blast reading. You're a good writer, and I'm sure you guys enjoyed yourselves too listening to me because why wouldn't you? I'm so talented. In all seriousness, I applaud your decision to adopt an elderly pet. Honestly, I wouldn't do that because elderly pets usually require more experience, which I have a limited amount of. However, I still love elderly pets, and I recommend elderly pets because you know what? Elderly pets need love too, okay? They're usually more chill, so if you aren't very mobile, then they are good for you because, you know, they like to relax with ya. Anyways, personally, I've never had a parasite that I'm aware of. However, the things I've heard about them aren't like the greatest, so I think I'm gonna pass on the parasites for now. Who knows, maybe in the future I'll try them out. You make it sound like such a great experience, so who knows, maybe I'll change my mind. Let me know in the comments below if you've had tapeworm before and if you recommend the experience. I'm still on the fence, honestly. I'm getting swayed a little bit, but I'm still on the fence. You know, convince me in the comments. Should I get tapeworm? This story's called "Today I Fudged Up, Made a Nice Lady Cry Twice, Decided to Order Thai Food for Our Lunch. I call and they say 10 minutes. I get to the place and a familiar face greets me. Hostess says we have no orders called in. I replied I called about 12 minutes ago. She says no, we have no orders, sir. I said I had ordered pad see ew with beef and pad pak with tofu, not spicy. Nope. I needed to get to work and thought about leaving, but I can still make it, so I order there in the restaurant. Order will be ready in 10 minutes. I pay and she says what number I called. I look at my phone and it says Thai Elephant, the name of the restaurant I am waiting in. Go back to my car with my hot food. I Google the number I had in my phone as Thai Elephant. Google shows this number I called was a restaurant called Thai Fusion. What? I effed up. Don't even know if I had been to Thai Fusion. I feel like a nitwad. I had to be at work in a little while, so I could not go to Thai Fusion to get my original order. It is the opposite end of town. 60 minutes after my phone order, Thai Fusion leaves me a voicemail indicating that my order was still sitting there. She sounded very upset and thought she may have been sobbing. That happened Tuesday, so technically Tuesday I effed up. I felt bad given that a lot of restaurants are barely holding on now and my mistake is messing with someone's livelihood. Today I get a chance to go to Thai Fusion. I ring the Modelo makeshift bell for service and a Thai woman appears. I said I had called in a lunch order earlier this week but could not come to get it. I am so sorry. She said, "You must be..." My name. Crap! She remembered my name! Crap! She must still be upset and justifiably still so. I hand her cash. I say this is for my order on Tuesday. She looks up at me and asks if I want some lunch now. I declined and said no need to make us anything as you already had made it for us Tuesday. I'm now coming to pay for it. She was so appreciative and said thank you like 5 times with namaste hands. She was almost in tears. Seeing her like that almost made me cry right there. Okay, while that was honestly a very anticlimactic ending there, that was very sweet of you to not pay and then pay. However, you messed up and then you fixed it, so like, not entirely a mess up there, bud. But you did have the right mindset. Yes, so many businesses are suffering due to this pandemic, and that's horrible, and this guy is doing his part and making sure he pays for what he ordered. This story's called, "Today I Fudged Up by Walking into My Husband's Work Conference Naked." This just happened about an hour ago. I was actually getting dressed and ready for working at home today. My husband was working in our office and let me know he would be on a phone call. He also asked me to make him a smoothie before he had to leave to go into the office for a bit this morning. I was in the middle of fixing my hair, naked as I had just gotten out of the shower, but I knew he had a busy day and sometimes forgets to eat, so I wanted to make sure he ate and was ready for his busy day. I go and make the smoothie, still naked as I'm in the middle of getting dressed, and bring it to him, not realizing he was on a video conference call. I sat it down on his desk and he just turns to me with the most scared look on his face and pushes me away. I then realized I was butt-ass naked on his camera in front of his CEO, my brother who also works with him, and a whole team from India. They all saw. We will get crap for this for a while. I'm going to go crawl into a hole forever. Oh no, the husband's a cuck. First iDubbbz, now him. The internet teenage children will never let you hear the end of it, man.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.